Yo, welcome back to Hunt Recovery, where we just don't look for recovery. We hunt for it, no matter how far, no matter how close, no matter none of that. We're gonna go find the joint. Now today, I wanna talk to you guys about structure. That's why I'm here showing you guys this right now. See, when you're in recovery, you gotta tear the walls down. And for those that don't know how a house look before you put drywall and all that stuff in it. Now, what I'm saying about this is when you have to tear all your walls down. You know what I'm saying? Tear everything down, and you know what? Then you build yourself back up. Then slowly, you can look behind me. You can see we still tearing this room down, but this is make my whole point. You start putting your drywall up. It might not be, you know what I'm saying, that good at first. And then guess what? You start putting your shower in it. You know what I'm saying, slowly. And you put your little drywall over here with your little curtains. You know what I'm saying? And all that stuff. Then you put your shingles on or whatever. But this though, guys, you have to tear your walls down. You have to tear your whole life down to the bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, build yourself back up. You know what I mean? Get rid of all the stuff that reminded you of when you was doing drugs or when you was drinking or whatever. And build yourself back up to the point of where you just start slowly. You put, like I said, you put your drywall in, you put your, you know what I'm saying, a little bit at a time, which means, you know, you get you a job, you know what I'm saying? You go to your meetings, you do whatever you got to do what you got to do, and then guess what? After a while, you're gonna have a whole house built. You know what I'm saying? But at first, honestly, you gotta start off to the bare minimum, guys. You gotta break all them walls down until you get to the point where you ain't got nothing left than that. You know what I'm saying? It's just you and, you know, that's it. This just studs. You know what I'm saying, guys? You gotta break it all down where it ain't nothing left. And build it all back up. And when you do that, guess what? Your life will become different. You'll start getting bigger things. You know what I mean? You'll start getting things you need to get, you know, and stuff like that. So, but I gotta go back to work. I'm gonna finish this video when I get home. Alright, I'm back home, guys. I just took a shower, just got a shower. I had a whole bunch of insulation all over me, which you probably could see in the video. I look like I was all white, like Frosty the Snowman. And all that wasn't no, you know, other stuff on my face. You feel me? I don't do that shit no more. But anyway, but it is a good, I am glad about I have insulation all over me. I had insulation all over me because the thing about it is, I wanted to say, is the fact of the matter is when you break down them walls, sometimes you have a whole bunch of bull crap inside them walls when you break them down that you just forgot about. You know what I'm saying? You sitting and break down them walls, get your life back to the bare minimum, and you got all kinds of bull crap come out the walls, out the cracks, out the, you know what I'm saying, coming under the stairs, you know what I'm saying, little creatures or something coming out the woodworks, trying to get you back to doing that same old bull crap all the time, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yo, you can't, you know, you gotta just keep on moving. You just gotta take that sledgehammer or that whatever you got to tear down the walls and just keep on the tearing, you know what I mean? And smash that stuff out your way, and then when you get done, you clean it all off you know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna have a whole bunch of bull crap on you, but at the same time, guess what? It gotta be done. You know what I'm saying? And when I say tear down the walls, I mean all the bull crap, the drama, the people that saying that you can't do it, that you can't make it out here, that you always gonna go back to the same stuff because that's just what you is, and all this other stuff, and then that's what it's gonna be, you know what I mean? But then you gotta be like, No, I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? Get out my house. You know what I'm saying? You just tear them walls down until you get to the studs, until you get to the bones. You know what I'm saying? And then you gonna have to de-nail that. You know what I'm saying? Them bones when you get done tearing all that stuff out of there. You know what I mean? And that means like your thoughts and the bad behavior and all this other stuff that you got to do. And that's just what it is. That's gonna be how it's gonna be. Hey! Sorry guys, this dog lost his mind. I don't know if I showed you guys the dog yet. I got a new dog. See? Say hi. His name's Versace. That's what my kids named him. But that's another point too, though. Like, you know, and when you first, and I'm glad he barked because it's the whole point of too, though. When you first in recovery, it's hard to try to take care of yourself, let alone an animal or kids or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So don't feel bad about it because you know what I'm saying. We so used to not having to do nothing. We trying to take care of ourselves because when we in our addiction, guess what? We don't take care of no business. You feel me? You know, but that's what I mean by building your house back up after you tear it down to the bones. You know what I'm saying? You got to you start getting things, and then like pets or whatever, and then you able to do a lot more at that point in time. You know what I mean? But like I said, at first it's gone. You got to tear that. Hey. About dang bad to my kid. Really while I'm trying to do a video. But yeah, then that's what it is, y'all. But it's crazy because you know, like I'm in recovery. I ain't recovered yet. I would, man.
Take your ass to the pound.
But then you gonna have things that's right there that's gonna irritate you, and you like, man, you gotta learn patience. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that's what the whole point of tearing your house down. You feel me? You gotta tear everything down because if you don't, even if you leave one scrap of drywall or whatever the case may be up in there, one little thing, guess what? You gonna go back into that stuff. You know, doing the same thing, and it happens. But at the same time, you gotta know and want to change everything. Quit! Now, you gotta want to know, change everything because... Sorry guys for the rude interruption. Anyway, like I said, it's just the way it's gonna be, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's gonna be hard, you know what I'm saying, to tear them walls down because they're supported by concrete and 2x4s and whatever else and bricks, you know what I'm saying? Because them walls been up forever, you know what I'm saying? But once you tear them walls down, just like in that house that I showed you guys, you know what I'm saying? You gonna feel free. You gonna feel like you got much air. You gonna feel like stuff ain't so crowded. You feel me? Because you've been putting stuff in that house in them walls for years. You know what I mean? You talking about like 30 years or even if you're not older. You know what I'm saying? Even if you've been putting in for 2 years, you know how much stuff you can put in the house in 2 years if you keep on packing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can put a lot of stuff in there, you know, and it's a lot of stuff you don't need, and that's just the way it is. You like, when you start unpacking that house and tearing them walls down, and you like, what the heck? Where did I get this from? You know what I'm saying? Like, and the good thing about it is sometimes, just like in old houses, when you tear it down and you looked in them walls, you might find, you know what I'm saying, an old coin or something. I'm just speaking on, in general, old coin from like 1920s, you know what I'm saying? That's worth You know what I'm saying? $20,000, $30,000. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying about that is I'm saying that figuratively, but you know what I'm saying? You're going to find stuff in yourself that you thought was lost a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? You like, man, I ain't never, man, I forgot about I can, you know what I'm saying? I was, smart, which everybody, y'all are smart. Or like, I had this skill, you know what I'm saying? Or this or that, you know what I'm saying? Because stuff is going to be coming out of you that you ain't never thought about before. You know what I'm saying? Or at least not before, but in a long time. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way it is, and you guys, you're going to be surprised at yourself. You know what I mean? At least I have. You know what I'm saying? Been surprised at myself lately. And because I'm building I tore my wall down and I'm building it back up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I give you an example. Just like me going to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, my job is hard, don't get me wrong. But it's easier when I'm not drinking or I'm not hungover from the last, you know what I'm saying, the night before. Where I didn't get no sleep, and then, you know what I'm saying, like, I only got like hours worth of sleep, or maybe not even no sleep at all, trying to get, go to work and do some, hard labor like that, you know what I'm saying? I used to die, I used to kill myself every day, but, even though I'm old now, I'm still like, it's not as hard as it was, it used to be, you know what I mean? And I was younger then. You know what I'm saying? I was like in my 20s, you know. So it's like, like I'm noticing like little things like that, and that's what you're gonna notice, you know what I mean? Your brain's gonna get better, everything's gonna get better, you know what I mean? When you start building your walls back up, and then you're gonna put, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be like it was when you tore it down, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna rebuild it better, you know what I'm saying? Bigger and better. The foundation's gonna be better. The walls are gonna be better. You know what I'm saying? And that's the way it is. But like I said too, don't get me wrong. You might have layers and layers and layers that you gotta tear down. You know what I'm saying? But that's the way it is. You always gotta remember when you tear them layers down, that when you rebuild it, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be better. So it might be messed up when you tearing that boy. It might be messed up when you tearing them walls down, and you like, man, do I really gotta tear these walls down, bro? You know how long it took me to build these walls up? Yes, yep, you do, because at the same time, them ain't no good walls. You know what I'm saying? Them walls about to crumble in 2.5 seconds, and I guarantee you, they already crumbled. You know what I'm saying? Because in your addiction or some stuff, whatever your addiction may be, it's already crumbling, trust me. That's not solid. You know what I mean? But so you tear that stuff down so you can build better. You know what I mean? And your life is definitely gonna be 100% better. Like I said, it's gonna be some bull crap when you tearing it down, and that's just the way it is. But when you find out that, when you build it better, you're like, oh man, my life looks good now. You know what I mean? Like, I never thought I could accomplish this in a million years because, for one, you didn't have the confidence or anything like that, because that's why we're doing drugs and alcohol, because we didn't have no confidence. A lot of people, they say, oh, well, drugs and alcohol or whatever your addiction was gave you confidence, gambling or whatever the case. It is all the same. Whatever the addiction was, it gave you confidence. It made you happy, made you feel better. But at the same time, it only made you feel better for 2.5 seconds, and that's just the way it was. And we all know that. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it was. You can't, I call it false confidence or false feelings, you know what I mean? Make you feel good, falsely, because if you really think about it, it brought you more problems than it gave you. The feelings that it gave you made you feel bad at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? You made you feel like shit, make you do this, you made you do that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I call that shit false, you know what I'm saying? That shit false hope, false confidence, whatever. It's all false. It ain't no real ass shit, you know what I'm saying? But you tear them walls down and you build it back up. you're gonna be like, oh yeah, now let's see. Boy, let me have to tell you one more time, bro. That's rude. Anyway, yeah, that's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying, guys? And you know, it's gonna be 100% better. I guarantee you that one. You know, but like I said, it's definitely important to tear the walls down first. You know what I mean? Get down to your structure. Get down to your old, you know, the old you. You know what I'm saying? That's what I call it, the old you. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, get more features, get better things about you and shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the way it is. So. But I wanted to just jump on here and show y'all that because I was doing that house and I'm like, this is a good example to show you guys, you know what I mean? Like, you know, because people always say that, you know what I mean? But I wanted to show y'all a visual, like how far you gotta take it. You know what I'm saying? When you cleaning out your house, that's how far you need to clean out your house. You know what I mean? And like I said before, it might be a lonely road at first. You know what I mean? Tearing out them walls, you know what I mean? Because as you can see, even in that video, oh, there ain't no comfort in that house. You know what I'm saying? It ain't bare bone. There ain't no kind of comfort up in there. You know what I'm saying? It ain't warm. You got drafts, you know what I'm saying, coming in each way or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You got tearing down the insulation. So you definitely ain't got no goddamn warmth in that house, you know what I'm saying? But like I said before, when you rebuild that thing, you know, that house is gonna be your house, meaning yourself. It's gonna be nice and cozy and warm. Cause you gonna have, like, you know what I'm saying, everything new up in there. You know what I'm saying, in your life, you're gonna have new foundation, new structure, new installation, you know what I'm saying? And all that good stuff. Hey! Bro. Yep, that's the way it's gonna be. And so, anyway, I just wanted to tell y'all that I'm about to get off here. I gotta go deal with a couple things and stuff like that. But I love y'all. And you know, like I always say to y'all, yeah, I'm super proud of y'all though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all been doing excellent. And like I always say, you know what I'm saying? If y'all mess up, it's okay as long as you get back on there, you know what I'm saying? And guess what? It's gonna be hard to build that life, you know what I'm saying, that house back up. It ain't easy. It takes hours, it takes months, it takes years, you know what I'm saying? But when you do it, and that's just the way it is. So, I'm about to get off here. But like I always say, I'm super proud of you. You, especially y'all that's starting tearing down y'all walls and building back up. I love y'all. I'm out. Peace.